Hello and welcome back to GNAT-TV's News Project. I'm Andrew McKeever. It's a pleasure to have you with us today. Today is Thursday, May 29th, and it's our pleasure to have with us in the studio Alyssa Johnson, who is the Community Visit Director for the Vermont Council on Rural Development. Some of you may have heard that in a couple of weeks, the town of Sunderland will be having a community visit. We're calling it Sunderland Shines. And so here to tell us about what a community visit is and what are some of the activities that we've got planned so far. Alyssa, thank you very much for making the time to be down here with us to kind of get everyone up to speed on what's going to be happening. It's very exciting stuff. So on June 18th, we're going to have a community visit coming to Sunderland. I wondered if you could tell us what's going to be happening.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Andrew. It's a treat that we get to be at GNAT, and it's actually in Sunderland. That's not something that happens on every community visit. So yes, June 18th is the big kickoff event. The Sunderland Shines process actually started quite a while ago. We received an invitation from back when you were on the Sunderland Select Board. We at the Vermont Council on Rural Development work where we're invited by local leaders, and we pulled together a group of local folks to think about what do people in the Sunderland community really want to talk about. So that's what June 18th is all about. It's going to be fun. We have a free community dinner. Hound Dogs is doing catering. There's going to be potluck sides. Patrick Sargent's doing music. So come out, chat with neighbors. There's also an opportunity to have discussions about the future of Sunderland. What's working well for folks, what might be challenging, and really what are your ideas for the future? There's 4 different forums. Folks can attend whichever ones they're interested in, both before and after the dinner, on everything from recreation to schooling and family, community and identity, history and progress. But it's really the kickoff of a 3-month process to think about the future of Sunderland.
So then what will be happening after the first meeting? We have these 4 groups, 4 forums or whatever. What will be happening then? The Vermont Council on Rural Development will be bringing in some outside experts to help with whatever comes out of those 4 forums to help guide the conversations from there, or is it something else beyond that?
Great question. So the forums are really about listening to the community. So we at the Vermont Council on Rural Development facilitate throughout the process so that everyone in town has the opportunity to share. We take notes and record everything that's shared by everyone. We don't come to this process with any agenda. We're really interested in hearing from folks in the community, both at those in-person forums. We also will have an online survey and a print one. So we want to hear as much information as possible from as many people in town. We do invite a team of visiting experts, and they're really there also to listen, to hear from folks in Sunderland about what's working, what's not, and what they want to see happen. So at that first meeting, we invite folks from across the state, folks from state leadership positions, regional leadership positions, to hear about what's on the mind of people in Sunderland. And after that, later in the process, once you all as a community decide on what you're interested in focusing on, which is what will happen through this 3-month process, we bring some of those folks back to think about how they can help you all move forward in accomplishing your goals.
So these next 2 follow-up meetings will be one in July and then one in August. And at the end of that 3-meeting long process, we'll have some blueprint or roadmap or some kind of set of ideas about, you know, what the town might want to focus on based on what they've heard from the meetings that have been held.
Exactly that, yeah. So this process is all about deciding on priorities for the future of Sunderland, and it's really based on what we hear from the community. So those ideas shared at the first meeting on June 18th, when we come back a month later in July, we're going to put all those ideas up on the wall and help folks vote and prioritize. So out of all of the ideas that we heard, that people in the community shared, what are most important for Sunderland right now? What are those things that people want to roll their sleeves up and get involved in to really build out the future of the community? And so that voting will happen live in person in July with community members who are there. And those priorities then in August will be the ones where we come back, where we invite experts and resource providers and really make a plan for how to make things happen.
And I should probably just note real quick that those meetings will be all held at the Sunderland Elementary School over on Sunderland Hill Road. You know, I was just wondering, the Vermont Council on Rural Development has been doing these community visits for quite a while, right? Since going back to the 1990s, I think.
Yeah, longer than I've been alive, so just about 30 years. So yeah, it's a tested process. It's something we've done in over 90 towns. And so it's a really great framework. It looks different in every single town because no two towns are the same in Vermont, but it's a process to have that structure for a community to really brainstorm ideas, decide on priorities, and move forward. And we've seen some pretty incredible results across the state from communities doing that over time.
Because I think I remember hearing there has been roughly about, what, 90 or more?
Yeah.
Community visits that VCRD has done since that time, over those 30 years or so. I guess I just wondered, are there some outcomes that you've seen in some of the community visits that really stand out? I mean, the idea, I'm sure, is more than just to have, well, it's great to get the friends and neighbors together and have a community potluck and talk about the town and what we like and what could be better. I mean, the idea is to have some kind of, tangible outcome where a roadmap of things that might happen.
Yeah.
That would be realistic that the town could do. But I'm sure you've probably seen some examples of in other communities where something really amazing happened out of that.
Yeah. I would say the most interesting piece is actually the range of things that communities choose to do. So in some communities it's small. Communication is one we're seeing a lot. In some towns we're hearing that folks don't know how to find information about what's going on. So sometimes a whole group comes together to really think about how do we integrate all of the different parts of our communities and events. That might be one idea. In other communities, we've seen huge infrastructure projects. We've seen towns come together and say, we want to create sidewalks or a sewer system. But it really depends on the community and what comes across. We worked up in Franklin last summer. They were really interested in Lake Carmi, which is located in their community, and how they could engage more residents there. In this area of the state, we worked in Wallingford a few years ago, and bringing back Wallingford Days was a big focus. We worked in Manchester 10 years ago, and the Riverwalk was something that came out of that. So we really see a range of options. Sometimes it's things like events or community connection. Sometimes it's infrastructure project, and sometimes it's things that might be really specific to a community. Berry City was really interested in reconnecting with the river that runs through their downtown. So there's been a huge range of projects, and I think that's what makes it so interesting, that they're really each a fit for the town. And we have no idea going into the process what the priorities are going to be until we start hearing from folks at this first kickoff meeting. But those ideas are the ones that ultimately the community decides on what are the ones they want to move forward with.
Yeah, that all sounds very exciting to me, and I'm looking forward to going to it. So just to recap, June 18th, starting at 4:30.
4:30 p.m. Yep.
There's at the Sunderland Elementary School.
Yeah.
So that first meeting then will start off with two of the forums, community identity and recreation.
Exactly.
And then there'll be a break for the community dinner.
Yep.
And then we go back to two more meetings after that. All right, well, okay. And if folks want to learn more about community visits or more about this, are there some online resources that they can go to just to kind of learn more?
Totally. So first, for that meeting on June 18th, folks can arrive and leave at any time. Some people come for the dinner and stay after. Some come to the first forum, 4:30 to 6, and stay for the dinner. There is childcare provided during the forum, so we really want to make it something where everyone can come out and share their ideas. And again, if you have more ideas after the forum or beforehand, online we use bit.ly links. So it's bit.ly/Sunderland Shines, and there's an overview of all three of the meetings in the process in online form where you can submit your ideas and also sign up for an email list to stay updated.
All right, well, Alyssa Johnson, thank you very much for making the time to come and bring us up to speed on all of this. It's going to be great, I think, and a really important moment in the town's history to have this, have you and your team here to see what the future's going to look like.
Thanks, Andrew. We're really excited. Thanks for having the time, and we're really looking forward to everyone coming out. The process only works when people show up, so really excited to help spread the word to have everyone show up on June 18th at the elementary school.
All right. Well, there you go. June 18th, 4:30 p.m., Sunderland Elementary School. Be there. All right. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you very much.
Join us at Sunderland